Now I am going to explain very important point related to properties of matter, children. So there are several properties, as you know, like kinetic energy, like the boiling, like melting, evaporation, liquidity, sublimation. So now today I will explain about evaporation. Actually, evaporation is a process. It is a process of conversion of the liquid into vapors at any temperature, or rather the evaporation takes place at room temperature or normal temperature. So it is defined as the conversion of the liquids into vapors at temperature less than boiling point of the liquid. So this is the very important point to note, that evaporation takes place at temperature less than boiling point. So children, evaporation takes place even at the low temperature also. You might be knowing, when any liquid, say water, falls on floor or falls at any surface, what happens? The water is evaporated because we are not heating, and you know the water is evaporated, and so there are different points related to this, and so this is the evaporation. Now there are several factors. There are several factors affecting it. Means, on what factors evaporation depends? What factors evaporation depends? This is a very important point, and we all have in our lives its applications. So first, I am explaining about in desert coolers. You all must be knowing desert coolers or simple air coolers we use, and so actually desert coolers are able to cool better on a hot sunny day. Desert coolers are able to provide cooler air on hot sunny days. Why? Because on hot sunny day the humidity is much less. Humidity, or the content of the water vapors in the atmosphere, is much less, and so evaporation of water takes place, and hence we are able to get relief. On the other hand, when we use water pump or run water pump of water cooler, air cooler, so the water pump is not used during the rainy season. So there are 2 points, that a desert cooler works better on a sunny day. This is one point. And because evaporation takes place, why evaporation takes place? Because the water vapors are less in amount, and so we are benefited with the cold air and we are comfortable. Now, just opposite, it is advised not to run the water pump in a desert cooler. So it is opposite. Second point is opposite. Why? Because on a rainy day, what happens? Already in the atmosphere, water vapors are in very high amount, and when we run the water pump of the cooler, more and more humidity is produced inside the room, and we are not comfortable. Children, actually, we have an impression that air cooler is giving us cold air. Actually, it is nothing like that. Actually, desert coolers, you all must be knowing, it throws the air, and water pump, actually, it evaporates, gives the water to the cooling pads, and the cooling pads, water flows down, and so it is taken up. The water pump sends the water to the entire cooling pad, and the air is taken up, and hence actually very small vapors, very small droplets are there, other very small droplets of the water are present in the air. And when we are in front of air cooler, what happens? The tiny droplets of the water, they fall on our body, they fall on our face, and there is the evaporation there. Once again I am repeating, the water vapors, water droplets are thrown away on our body by the desert cooler, and hence we are have impression, or we are having an impression that the cooler is giving cold air, and so water droplets, they fall on our body, evaporation takes place, and we are comfortable. So this is a very important point to note. Now other point is the surface area. This is also a very much important point. The surface area of the vessel, surface area of the material, it is very important factor. Surface area of, so surface area is an important factor, and you all have experience. For example, you all are in a hurry for your school or for going to play. Your mother gives hot milk or coffee or any drink. So what happens? If you are in a hurry, then mom, please bring in the plate or bring in saucer. It is very difficult to sip the hot milk or tea or coffee from a cup, because in a cup the surface area is much less. In a glass the surface area is much less with respect to a plate or with respect to a saucer. See how, if I am drawing a cup here, this is I am putting in a saucer or putting in a plate. So here there is more surface area. Surface area is more, and here less surface area. So what happens with the cooling? Actually, the water vapors of the hot liquid, they are evaporated. Water vapors of the hot liquid, they escape, they go out. And when there is evaporation, there is cooling, and so we are able to sip the hot. Here surface area is much more, and here surface area is much less. So here the cooling will not take place easily. Here cooling will take place easily, and so this is the reason. Now third point is humidity. So humidity is nothing but the amount of water vapors. Amount of water vapors present in air. So when the humidity is more, you all know, in rainy season the water vapors are in very large quantity in the atmospheric air, then we are uncomfortable, we feel restlessness, we feel uneasiness, and the clothes which we spread for the drying after washing, so clothes take up more time to dry. Why? Because in the atmosphere already there is large amount of water vapors, and so evaporation will not take place faster. So this is the point. Then other point is the speed of air. The speed of air, children, it is also an important factor. You all have an experience. On a windy day or when the air is more, the cloth dries up faster. Why? Because when there is the wind, when there is the blowing breeze, it carries away the water vapors evaporated by the clouds, and so this is the reason. So this is very important point to note: speed of the air. Now, then the nature of liquid. This is also an important factor. Nature of liquid, children, you all must be knowing. All the liquids do not evaporate at equal speed. Some liquids evaporate faster. Some liquids evaporate, in more time. For example, we have water. Water evaporates slightly later. Compare with the spirit or compare with the petrol. What happens? When a drop of nail polish remover, drop of petrol, drop of spirit falls on surface, it goes away quickly without any delay. Why? Because of the rate of evaporation of the spirit, rate of evaporation of the petrol is very high with respect to water. Then take the case of any oil, any edible oil. What happens? It falls down. It remains for the weeks as it is. Why? Because the evaporation of the oil takes place at very high temperature. So these are the very important point about the evaporation. Now, children, one more point you all must know. When we want to dry our clothes after washing, what happens? We squeeze water, then we unfold by shaking. Why it is so? Because by unfolding, what happens? The surface area is increased, and so this is about the evaporation. Now, children, one more point about evaporation, that evaporation is a surface phenomenon. Evaporation, it is a surface phenomenon. Surface phenomenon means it takes place on the outermost surface of liquid. And so this is all about the evaporation. Now I am coming to next very important part, boiling. So boiling is a process which takes place at high temperature. So it is a process in which a liquid is converted into vapors at high temperature. Liquid is converted into vapors at high temperature. Now, boiling, it is an interior phenomenon. Interior means inside. You all must know. Suppose if I draw, saucepan. Draw a saucepan here. And so what happens? This saucepan we are heating from here. Suppose. So the liquid, there is the conventional current. And so this is the boiling. Now, next is boiling point. Boiling point is related to boiling. So it is defined as the temperature at which a liquid is converted into its vapors. Liquid is converted into vapors, and the vapor pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure. This is very important point to note, that the vapor pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure. So we may define that boiling point is the temperature at which vapor pressure of a liquid becomes equal to atmospheric pressure. But the temperature at which vapor pressure of a liquid becomes equal to atmospheric pressure. You all must be knowing. We use pressure cookers to cook the meals. Why? Because in pressure cookers, you all must be knowing, we we lock with a lid. And lid has a gasket. You all must be knowing, gasket, this rubber material. And so what happens? The pressure inside, the pressure of vapors inside the pressure cooker is very much high. And due to high vapor pressure, the food materials are cooked very much easily. Now, you all must know, it takes hours to cook say pulses, vegetables in open vessel. Why? Because in open vessel the vapor pressure is very, very low, and if you cover, then it takes some less time. So these are very much important points related to the evaporation, boiling point, and so on.